How would you like to sell your home for more money and faster without using a real estate agent? Sounds like a dream, right? Well, it's entirely possible, and that's what we're going to dive into today. Whether you're trying to save on commission fees, or you don't have enough equity in your home, or let's be honest, you just don't even want to deal with real estate agents. Hey, no hard feelings. This video is for you. I'm going to guide you through every step of selling this home on your own, just like we're besties sitting down for a cup of coffee. But hey, this coffee date could save you thousands of dollars. So let's get started. Step one is preparing your home for sale. Preparing your home for sale is like getting ready for a first date. You don't want to show up in sweatpants with Cheeto dust all over your face, right? Your house needs to look like its best too. And here's how. Declutter, depersonalize, and deep clean. Decluttering. Imagine going through your house, and as you're looking at the items in your house, if it's going to make a buyer go, then it's got to go. That pile of magazines that you've meant to read but you never did, it's got to go. The exercise bike that's now doubling as a place where you hang all of your clothes, it's got to go. Buyers are going to want to see the space, not all of your personal stuff. One of my past sellers is a huge Disney fanatic. They had Disney everywhere. It was overwhelming. Nobody made an offer on the house until we got her to finally pack up all her Disney items and store them in the garage. Then we finally got an offer. Now you want to depersonalize. Take down your family photos, take down your political signs, take down the world's okayest cook. Neutralizing is the name of the game here. Buyers want to picture their items in the home, and they want to see how it's going to be when they move in. Buyers want to picture their lives in the space, not yours. Next is deep clean. You are going to dust, you are going to scrub every surface. This is going to include the ceiling fans, the AC returns and registers, the cobwebs in the corners of the room, the dust on the walls, and don't forget the baseboards that you forgot even existed. If the deep cleaning is going to be too much and overwhelming for you, hire a professional to come in and do the deep cleaning. You don't want to skimp on this step. It's worth the investment. Next, you're going to want to make repairs and upgrades. Buyers notice everything. That loose doorknob that you've been ignoring, it is the star of the show. The door that's creaking that you don't even hear becomes the loudest noise in the room. You want to fix the small things like leaky faucets, squeaky doors, and loose paint. And you want to invest in items that are going to give you a big impact and a return for your investment. I always found the number one is paint. Paint will go a very long way. Take all of your colors and neutralize them. You may love orange and blue to support the Gators, but not every buyer feels that way. I once had a customer whose kitchen was orange and blue. It was absolutely overwhelming and turned off all the buyers. Once I finally got them to paint it an off-white color, it became very inviting and we got an offer quickly. Next, let's boost the curb appeal. First impressions are huge. Let's be honest, your home's exterior is like a Tinder profile. If it's not cute, the buyer is going to swipe left. It's time to mow the lawn, trim the bushes, and plant some flowers. I will give you bonus points if you plant flowers and you don't kill them in the first week, like I do. Then let's move on to pressure washing the driveway and the house. A little bit of elbow grease is going to go a very long way. I had a seller that added fresh mulch and a simple wreath to the front door. Suddenly their home looked like something out of Better Homes and Gardens, and it sold in just a few days. Next, let's organize the paperwork. Dig out that packet of paperwork that you've been ignoring since you bought your home. You're going to need your mortgage information, a survey if you got one, homeowners insurance documents, and if you're going to be buying a home after you sell, you're going to also want your tax returns, your W-2s, and your bank statements. Pro tip for you, keep all of your papers in one spot, preferably not in that drawer where everything disappears. Now we want to price your home correctly. And pricing your home is a lot like Goldilocks. If you price it too high, you're going to scare off the buyers. If you price it too low, you're going to leave money on the table. Here's how you're going to find the sweet spot. First, I want you to avoid online tools like Zillow. Their automated estimations are like horoscopes. They're fun to read, but they're rarely accurate. And it's not one size fits all. Instead, study the comparable sales, also known as comps, in your area. When you're doing this, you're going to look for homes like yours, similar in size, condition, and features. You also want to look at the most recent sales, preferably 30, 60, and 90 days, no greater than a year, no matter what. And you want properties close to your home, preferably in the same subdivision if there are a lot of comparable properties, or within a mile radius. So for example, if you have a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house in a community where there were 30 other homes and it's right around 1,600 square feet and you don't have a pool, and the house down the street sold for $400,000, and you also have the same 3-bedroom, 2-bath house with no pool around 1,600 square feet, also built around the same time, you are not going to sell your house for $450,000 or $500,000 unless you've got some sort of unicorn stable in your backyard. It's not going to happen. If this sounds like a lot of work or complicated, you can always hire an appraiser. An appraiser is going to cost you a few $100s, maybe $1,000 depending on the size of your home, but it can save you thousands of dollars by pricing your house accurately. And I do mean a certified appraiser, not your neighbor who knows a friend who knows of friends that flip some houses down the street. Now that the house is ready and you've got a number on it, it's time to start marketing your home. Marketing your home is kind of like setting up a dating profile. You want to put your best features forward and get as many people to save, click, and call you. This starts with professional photos. Listen, nobody is falling in love with your home when you have dimly lit, blurry photos. Hiring a professional photographer can be around $500 to $1,000 for a moderately sized home. It's going to cost you more if you're going to get aerial photography, drone photography, a layout of the house, or Matterport video walkthrough. But they know what they're doing and they can show your home in the best light. They can make it look brighter, bigger, and make buyers want to come and schedule a showing. I will tell you, bad photos cost you money. I once had somebody buy a property because the photos online were so bad, nobody wanted to see that house. And when I saw the photos online, I said, "This is the house for you." And they said, "No, it looks absolutely terrible, but I know how to read a house and photos." And I said, "Your lucky day. Those bad photos are going to allow you to buy that house for significantly less." We scheduled a showing. They went in there. The house was absolutely stunning, gorgeous. And we got that home for $60,000 less than the list price because it had no other offers, because nobody wanted to see it because of bad photos. Don't let that happen to you. On picture day, you're going to want this house to be the cleanest it's ever been. That means no dishes in the sink, no laundry piled up, no toys on the floor. You're going to remove any indication of pets, pet bowls, and litter boxes. You're going to open the shower curtain so that people can see inside the shower, and you're going to take all of those toiletries out so that they're not going to be present there. You're going to remove the squatty potty and all the personal items on any of the counters. When people see these amazing photos, they're going to think, "I could live there. I could move right in today." And that's what we want. Now that we've got your professional photos, it's time to leverage the marketing platforms. You want to put your home on as many platforms as possible and cast a very wide net. You can list your home on websites like For Sale by Owner or Zillow, Craigslist, or even your own personal social media. Also, don't forget the yard sign. Go down to your local hardware store, grab a For Sale by Owner sign, get the biggest one that they have, and put that in a prominent place in your yard. Make sure that the phone number that they need to call is very, very large and easy to read. Hey, yard signs still work. Now let's not forget about social media, because that is your secret weapon. Post your home on all of your social media accounts. That's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, LinkedIn. Anywhere you have a profile, post your home there and ask your friends to share your post. And don't post just once, post continuously, reminding people that your property is available, because that buyer may not be on social media today, but they may be there next week or next month. And they can't see it if you're not constantly reminding everybody that you're there. Now that your marketing has worked, you're going to start getting the calls and messages about interest in your property and wanting to schedule showings. It's time to open the doors, but I want you to follow these rules. Number one, I want you to always be show ready. I know that this is hard, but you're going to want to treat your home like you are ready for a guest to drop by at any minute. Because they will. You want the beds made, you want the toys put away, you want your kitchen counters clean, you want the laundry room looking amazing, and the shower sparkling. Because buyers come by at the most inconvenient times. I promise. So you just want to be ready. Now, the most important thing in showing your home is safety first. This is an area that I do not recommend you compromise on, no matter what the buyer is saying. Your safety is not up for discussion or negotiation. Here's what you want to ask the buyer. First and foremost, are you pre-approved or do you have proof of funds? If a buyer cannot show you their pre-approval letter, then they are just tire kickers. If they are unwilling to show you a pre-approval letter, then I feel even more cautious about wanting to let someone like that into my home. Listen, serious buyers, they have pre-approval letters. Tire kickers do not. And if they really, really are interested in your home and they really want to see it, they will go get that pre-approval letter. If they do not have it, that is somebody that should never, ever enter your home until they do. Next, are they working with a real estate agent or professional? If they are, then they need to schedule a time to come by with that representative. Now, if they're not, that's absolutely okay. Let's go back to the first one, pre-approval letter and proof of funds. But if they do have representation, then that agent should be calling you and arranging that showing and answering any questions that you have and providing pre-approval letter or proof of funds. Next, what is their timeline for buying? I know many buyers that are shopping the area and they're not going to be buying for 6 months or a year. There is no point in seeing your home if they're not ready to make an offer today. If their situation is not going to allow them to move into that home in the next 30 or 60 days, then they really have no business seeing your home. Now remember, when you're asking these questions, you are not being nosy, you are being smart. Now here's a pro tip for you. If you are nervous about strangers walking into your home or being home with a stranger, then what I would recommend is schedule all the showings during an open house. You can have several open houses in a week. You can have them on the weekend at different times. You can even have them during the weekday, during the AM hours and even the evening hours. And ask somebody to sit with you while you're doing the open house so that you won't be by yourself. For me, safety is not negotiable. All right, congratulations, you got an offer. And if you're really lucky, maybe even got a couple. Now comes the fun part, negotiation. I love this part the best. You want to verify their financing. On that pre-approval letter or proof of funds, there will be a phone number on there that you will be able to contact their lender or representative and verify the information on that letter. Trust me, this is your first step. You do not want to move forward into a contract unless you know that the buyer is ready, willing, and able to move forward. Listen, I once had a seller get very excited that they got a cash offer, but they didn't understand that the cash offer was the buyer needing to sell their house first to get the cash to buy this house, and that buyer's house wasn't even on the market. So please verify their letter and or their funds. If you're lucky enough to be in a multiple offer situation, you want to look past just the offer for the purchase price. There's so many other factors that go into that. You want to look and see what kind of financing do they have? When do they want to close? Is that in line with something that's going to work for you? Are there any contingencies that they have? Like, do they need to sell a house before they can buy this one? Are they waiting for an inheritance that might be 6 months or a year down the road? How long is the inspection period? And are they already asking for any repairs or concessions? Not all offers are created equally. So be sure that you take all of that into consideration in determining which one is going to be best for you. Now that you've selected the best offer that works for you, it's time to keep that deal on track. One of the biggest hiccups that we see is the appraisal. If a buyer has financing, the lender is going to require that the home be appraised at the purchase price or greater. If it doesn't, renegotiations start or the deal dies. We've always found that the best thing is a compromise. So we had a situation where the house was under contract for $400,000, but the appraisal came in at $390,000. The buyer and seller still wanted to go forward and they compromised. The buyer gave up $5,000, the seller gave up $5,000, and then they were able to still go to the closing table. And here in the state of Florida, the seller picks the title company because they pay for the title cost. The title company is going to verify ownership of the property and the ability to transfer to the new owner. They're going to handle all the closing documents and issue title insurance to protect the buyer and you. So the pro tip is start gathering your documents early so when they ask you for things that you will be ready to get it to them. It will make the process a lot smoother and no delays. We are almost at the closing table, and now we're at the point of the final walkthrough. Buyers will typically do a final walkthrough the day before or the day of closing. This is their chance to make sure that the property is in the same or better condition than the day that they made the offer. Now, this is where we see hiccups come into the deal. So you do not want to leave surprises for the buyer that's going to delay or derail closing. One time I had a buyer come through the night before closing, and when we opened the garage, the sellers had left all of the trash in the garage that they did not take with them. The buyer was furious, refused to close the next morning at 9 a.m. until the sellers got that trash out. That was at 7 o'clock at night. Some miracle happened, and the sellers did remove all the trash and we were able to close. So make sure that the house is broom swept, very clean, and you're not leaving any surprises for the buyer that's going to derail your closing. Finally, we are at closing day. You're going to sign some papers, you're going to hand over the keys, and you're going to get a check. Now, if you've already moved or you're planning to move before closing, just let the title company know, because many of them now will do remote closings. Now, pro tip here for you, remember to turn over all the keys. I've had sellers walk away with the mailbox key, the garage door openers, the clubhouse key, and the pool key. And then they end up having to mail it back at a cost to themselves. So make sure you leave all the keys behind. Congratulations, your home is sold. Selling a home without an agent isn't for everyone, but if you follow these steps, you are already ahead of the game. If you found value in this video, share it with somebody who is thinking about selling their home alone. And I would love to hear below what experience you've had selling your home without representation. Now, if you decide you'd rather not go it alone and you want to leave all the heavy lifting and details to me, my contact information is in the description below. I would love to help. Be sure to watch the next video, 10 things not to have in the home when selling. I'll see you there.